Now, why are you in here?
Okay, so I have...
hello, Mark.
hello, Billy.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Look, I'll come back to Luke Jackson. So what I'm in a wheelchair today. I'm doing this thing for a crowd called Disability Sport and Recreation, and I'm in this CEO Wheelchair gig for the day. And I tell you what, I had no idea how difficult life is for anyone in a wheelchair. Even getting here, I was going to get the tram, get the train. Neither of those two things were possible. Getting in and out of the Uber was a disaster. Going to the loo.
Yes, day-to-day things you're telling us about.
Going to the toilet. So you've got to, first of all, I mean, you need a pretty big rig,
Which you haven't got.
None of us have got anymore. But then you've got to lift yourself up out of the and shuffle over into a disabled toilet, and it's impossible. Even if you want to do a number one, which I did, you had to zip everything down, and it's really tough. So I'm doing this to raise awareness and a bit of dough. Disability Sport and Recreation.
Well,
and
I went and got you out the front.
Yeah.
And he goes, so I opened the door, and he goes, well, push me in.
Yeah.
I'm like, off. Part of your experience is you can push yourself.
So it was a breakfast this morning at the MCG.
Yes.
I left out towards the Jollymont end.
So you've been in the chair
all
since
day
you got
today.
up?
Yep. Since the brekkie.
Yes.
And then I did basically a 2-3/4 lap of the G, which pushing the thing's enormous. And this is a 1970s version, none of the good stuff, which I assume a lot of people have. And even slight inclines, Bill, was tough to push. And then you go down and you start to get a head up. So 60% of people in a wheelchair have an accident playing sport. Which is terrible, yes, and 30% in the traffic, and I don't know what the other 10 is. So you're talking about 6 out of 10 dreadful accidents. And there was a young guy this morning, Paralympian. He talked about how he was 20 or so, early 20s in Echuca with all his life, and then he knocked into someone playing footy.
Oh, really?
And so it's horrible. Right. It's a dreadful thing, but I've had my eyes open. You got to walk walk a mile in another man's shoes, and that's what I'm doing today.
Great
and
awareness.
Hard work.
Well done. Great
Thank
awareness. We've got a website there we can look at.
We do. Raising awareness and vital funds to inspire change towards a more inclusive, accessible future. Go to dsr.org.au.
Well, it's a bloody good thing you're doing. I don't say it very often. How do people donate, please, Bartholomew?
dsr.org.au, trying to raise awareness and vital funds to inspire change towards a more inclusive and accessible future.
So how would our great mates, Stevie and here, this is Johnny's brother, Stevie's got one leg and has got himself around on crutches his whole life. And you and I have both been guilty of grabbing those crutches and throwing them a long way away, so he's got to hop over and get them. How would he see you right now?
I'm glad you mentioned him, because when they asked me to do this, I thought, you know what, this is a ripper bloke, Stephen here, and he's the only one-legged bloke who doesn't think he's disabled.
Yeah, exactly. Driven a manual.
Yeah.
Driven a manual.
100% drove a manual.
So I'm...
try and work that
slows down when you're changing gear. How would you do
that? But that shows you what his mentality is. Freak. Yeah. All right, well done.
Thanks very much.
Good on you, mate.